channel. So today I have a scary movie slash TV shows to watch for this Halloween video for you guys. So I'm gonna be showing you a bunch of TV shows and movies that all came out this year. I think maybe there's one or two that came out in 2019 or 2018, but basically they're all this year and they are so good. I can't wait for you guys to see it. I really hope you guys enjoy these recommendations, and if you do enjoy it, please comment down below what your favorite scary movie was that came out this year. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and share with all your friends. Let's get on into the video. So the first show I have for you guys is called 50 States of Fright. Now this is a show on Quibi. Now this app is a paid app, but you can also, I believe, get it ad supported. So 50 States of Fright is about scary stories told in every state in the country. My two favorite stories that they tell is the one from Minnesota and the one from Florida. Now, the one from Florida actually scared me. Like, I was actually creeped out by that story. I felt very uncomfortable after I was done watching it. So you know something is scary when you feel uncomfortable after you're done. Like, you just feel disturbed and like wrong inside. Yeah, so I'm telling you, that was scary. The Florida one was very scary. The Minnesota one I really liked because it was so interesting, you know what I mean? Like the effects, the graphics, everything was so interesting. The story was interesting. I really liked that story. Now I like the second season, but I don't like it as much as the first season because the second season didn't scare me at all, but the first season I was kind of creeped out. Like, I'm not gonna lie, with that Florida one I was really creeped out, but the Minnesota one I really liked. So it was really interesting in the first season. Now the one in Minnesota is called Great Cloud Island. So Great Cloud Island is about 4 pledges who are ready to find out if they're Kappa material, but this initiation ritual is about to get way darker than they expected. And it really does. Really does. Okay, I don't want to give too much away, but it's just really good, or else I wouldn't even mention it. It's really good. I really like this story. Basically they find this woman chained up in the woods because that's where they're doing their whole pledge night thing, and they find a woman chained up in this like cabin in the woods, and they basically go to rescue her, which is like really and they get like chased by all these people who want to like get this girl back and kill this girl, and then they end up dying themselves. But the way it ends is so good. Like, I wasn't really expecting it, but I kind of knew it was gonna happen. But it's really good, so you guys have to watch that. And the Florida one, which is right after the Minnesota one, is about Miami police officers who respond to an odd call about a stolen goat, and their body cams and video surveillance reveal what happens when they arrive at the scene. And this one is really creepy. Like, I was actually scared for this one, and I live in Florida, you know what I mean? Like, I live in Miami, so this is scary. And I was just like, I'm like, wait a minute, does this actually happen? Because at the beginning of the video, they're like, this is like true, but you know, we don't know how real these, you know, body cameras are. And I'm like, is this based on a true story? Because if it is, I need to get the hell out of Miami. Because I was just like, oh my gosh, I just need to get out of here. But it's really good. I really like that one. Now the next recommendation I have for you guys is called The Book of Bloods. Now this is a movie on Hulu. It just came out this year. I just watched it and it's really good. Okay, Hulu did a good job on this one. So The Book of Bloods just came out on Hulu. It came out this year and it's a movie and it's really good. I really enjoyed it. I was actually kind of scared at one point. Okay, because it actually was kind of creepy with the effects and the graphics. It was really kind of scary. Okay. So The Book of Bloods, it's about a journey into uncharted territory through 3 tales tangled in space and time. So basically the story is about 3 different people, but all of them are kind of like related to each other, and they all kind of like, they don't meet each other, but they kind of like are in the same place as one another at the same time, and it just shows how their story like correlates with one another. And the second story, that graphic was creepy. Like, what they did to that man was just watch it. You'll be like, ugh, like it's just gonna make your skin crawl because it was just, oh gosh. Like, but it's really good. It's a really good movie. Britt Robinson is in it and she does a really good job in it, and you would not expect what her character did, okay? Because I did not expect that, and I was just like, of course she did that. No wonder, she deserves it. But it is really good. Her story is really interesting, and another guy's story is interesting as well. His story is about, he's basically like this bad guy who, you know, murders this guy and goes to this abandoned town to get the Book of Bloods because apparently it sells for a lot of money, and he goes there and everything just goes downhill from there for him, okay? It just goes straight downhill. But everything in this story all relates to this one house. I believe the one house is why all of this is happening, because this house had so many horrors in it that no wonder probably the whole town is haunted because of this one house, because it is really bad. Like, what they did is terrible. So it's wild. You guys have to watch it if you have Hulu. It is very good. I definitely recommend it. Now, the next scary show I recommend to you guys is The Haunting of Bly Manor. Now, this is on Netflix, and it's made from the creators of The Haunting of Hill House, and it's kind of like The Haunting of Hill House. It's just, you know, a different storyline. So it's basically about this woman who becomes a nanny to these two children who live in Britain, and the house that they live in is haunted, and it's haunted by many different people, and she is also being haunted herself by something from her past. So she's dealing with that as well as dealing with other haunted stuff, and she just thinks she's going crazy and she's seeing things because she's like, this is just way too much. But she's not, because there's actual real haunted things going on, and it's all basically happening because of this one woman from way back when, and her story is crazy, but you understand why. But it's just sad. It's just so sad. There are some parts where you might, like, if you're easily scared, then this will be it for you. But if you want something for Halloween where you won't get scared and you can watch a story that's actually interesting, then The Haunting of Bly Manor is definitely for you. You should definitely go watch it. Now, the next show I want to recommend to you guys is When the Streetlights Go On, and this is a show on Quibi, and this is basically about a double homicide in a small Midwestern suburb that rattles the lives of a group of teenagers and sends investigators searching for answers in the fall of 1995. So I really enjoyed this show a lot. I really like the storyline. It basically opens up with this girl who meets up with this man, and they have, you know, an affair, and they end up dying. You know, somebody comes out from the woods and kills them, and they're trying to figure out who killed them. And honestly, you watch the show and you think you know who the killer is, but you don't know who the killer is. And when you find out who the killer is, you're like, of course, that's the killer. Of course. Like, when I found out who the killer was, I was just like, of course. Just, why didn't I think of that? Of course. And they make you think everybody is the freaking killer. And it's just like, oh, goodness gracious. But it's also another one of those stories that's really sad. It has a sad romance in it. And I really wish it didn't have that sad romance, because I was really rooting for the couple, but it's just really sad. The way it ends, really sad. And it's a really good story though. It's a really good show, and I really recommend you guys to watch it because it's really interesting and I really enjoyed it. So I definitely recommend it to you guys. It's basically how these investigators are trying to figure out the murder, but there's also a kid at the school who's on the newspaper team, and he actually decides he wants to have a column where he writes about the murders happening and tries to figure out who actually murdered the people, because one of the girls who was murdered was his friend. So he's trying to figure out who are murdering these people, what is happening, what's going on, and you basically just watch the whole story of like him trying to figure out who murdered who and what happened and who's the killer, and that's the story, and it's actually really interesting. So I definitely recommend it for you guys to watch. Wow, I really did not think that there's this many TV shows on this list, but there is. I've been watching more scary TV shows than I have been watching scary movies. I apologize that all of these shows are all on streaming services, but they're basically the only scary stuff that are coming out this year. Like, there's really nothing besides like a few scary movies. Not really, like, TV is not making a lot of scary TV shows anymore, you know? They're not doing it. And I don't see a lot of movies happening, so I've just been watching the streaming platforms, their TV shows and their movies, because they're putting it all out now and it's really good. So I recommend, if you guys have these streaming services, to watch it, and if you don't, to try it out. You know, a lot of them have like free trials and stuff, so try it out, watch the shows, see if you like it, you know? So the next show I want to recommend to you guys is called The Servant, and this is on Apple TV Plus. Now, this is about a Philadelphia couple is in mourning after an unspeakable tragedy creates a rift in their marriage and opens the door for a mysterious force to enter their home. So basically, this is about a couple who loses their baby, and this woman comes in to be the nanny of the baby, but the thing that you don't know though is that the baby is dead. So it's like, what the hell is happening? Like, they hired her because they wanted, you know, try to get the woman back because she had like a breakdown after she lost her kid. So they're trying to, like, you know, get her back to herself, and one of the things that they recommended was to hire a nanny and like try to act like the baby is alive, try to act like this is all right, till she realizes that this is not real and basically comes back to normal and comes back to reality. But they hired that nanny, and that nanny is acting like this baby is real, and then suddenly the baby is real, and you're like, how is this baby real? Because the baby is supposed to be a doll. So it shows you all of this, and it's really good. It's a really good show. I think Apple TV Plus did a really great job on this. I like a lot of their TV shows that they've been putting out, so they've done a really great job. It is really good. I definitely recommend it for you guys to watch. And it's really funny because even the husband is like, the baby is a doll. Why is she acting like a real nanny? Like, he's like, just, you know, when the wife is here, act like it's a baby. When she's gone, like, go live your life, go have fun, go to a party or something. And she's like, no, I'm taking care of the baby. The baby's real. What are you talking about? And he's just like, this chick has lost her marbles. She is insane. This chick is crazy. Like, what is wrong with her? But eventually, like, everything just works out for them, and they just become one happy little creepy family. And it was very confusing at the end, so I really hope they make a second season, because I'm like, I don't know if it really matches up with the way it should have ended. But it was a really good show, and I definitely recommend it for you guys to watch, and it's perfect for this Halloween. It really has those spooky vibes, so I definitely recommend for you guys to watch it. So the next movie I want to recommend to you guys is called You Should Have Left, and this is on the Peacock streaming platform. And if you have Comcast, Xfinity, I apologize, Xfinity now. That's what it's called. I'm still used to the old days, so it's called Comcast. But if you have Xfinity, then you can get it for free. So I have the Peacock app, and I just watch a bunch of their shows on it and their movies. And they have a new movie that just came out this year called You Should Have Left with Kevin Bacon and Amanda Seyfried. So they basically play in this movie where it's based on strange events plague a couple and their young daughter when they rent a secluded countryside house that has a dark past. So basically this couple and their daughter decide to go on vacation, and they rent a house in this like British town, I believe. And now here's my thing. I get the whole Airbnb thing, like people love to go on Airbnbs, that's great. But when you get to a town where the people are like, has anything strange happened yet? Don't you think you would be like, why? And maybe I should get out of there immediately, because why is more than one person in this town telling me, has anything strange happened in this house yet? Like, I would have left immediately. Like, are you kidding me right now? But they decide to stay, and a bunch of creepy things start happening in this house. And it's basically the father and the daughter who are going through this alone, and they're trapped in these doors. And it's kind of like this Inception type of thing, and this type of maze house, I believe, because they like keep, every time they open a door, they're back where they started, or they open the next door, they go outside, they're back, like they walk outside, they're back, like they're stuck in this house. And they find like different levels to this house as well, and they're like, what is happening? Creepy things are happening. Like there's writing in a journal where the person didn't write in it, and it's like, what is going on? And it's very interesting to watch. And I like how it's a father-daughter type of movie, because I like that way more. It's different, you know what I mean? It's way different than the rest of the movies than just, you know, a guy going through it or a guy and his wife. This is the guy and his daughter. So that was really interesting to me, and I definitely think you guys should watch it. If you have Peacock, it's free. Definitely go watch it because it is really good and perfect for Halloween. Now the next movie we have is called The Platform. And I don't know whether you heard of this movie or not yet, but it's really good. It's on Netflix. So if you have Netflix, go watch it because it is so interesting. It was so different and interesting, kind of like a dystopian feel. I really enjoyed it, and I definitely recommend everybody to watch it because it's one of those movies that gets you thinking, and you're like, oh my gosh, this happened because of that. Oh my gosh, this is like something that would happen in real life. Oh my gosh, this is like, I feel like there's like some life lessons to be learned in it as well. Like you just start thinking about it, it's like, this is because of this is because of that. This is like real life event. This is like this is that. Like, you know what I mean? Like it just gets you thinking and your mind's just rolling. Like it was just really interesting, you know? So I really enjoyed that movie. So basically it's about, in the future, prisoners housed in vertical cells watch as inmates in the upper levels are fed while those below starve. So it's very interesting. Like basically it's just this platform that goes down every morning, and from the top levels, you know, the people at the top get to eat whatever they want, and then as it keeps going down, you know, like the last floor, there's no food by the end of it, you know. And these people are mean. Some of these prisoners are very, very mean. They're, you know, they'll pee on the food, or they'll throw up, or, you know, they'll just do whatever as it's going down. Like, they do not care. And I'm like, that is so gross. And it kind of tells you about human society as well. It's like, if people at the top don't care about the people at the bottom, well, not all, but not all people, because we can never say all people are like whatever, but that's what basically is trying to say, like, how society is. But it's just, and like, there's this one guy who's trying to tell everybody, yo, save food for this person. Like, he's saying, like, don't take more than you need. And people are not listening to him. People do not care at all what he has to say. So eventually he just realizes, like, I can't be the good guy anymore. I just need to roll with how it's going, because this is how society is right now in the place that he's living. Now, the thing about all these prisoners in there, some people actually done some things to be in that prison. Like, for some people, especially for him, he chose to go there, you know what I mean? Like, he decided to be in it, while other people are forced to be in it because they did something bad, so they have to go to prison. Like, another person, like, this woman is in it and she doesn't speak, but she just she just sits on the platform every day going up and down because she's searching for somebody. And she actually decided to go in there because she's searching for somebody, you know what I mean? So some people choose to be there, some people don't. But it is very interesting. It is such a good movie, and it really gets you thinking. And if I recommend anything, then I would recommend this movie, okay? Because I really enjoyed it. It was really good. And this movie is more like a thriller than it is a horror movie. So it's really good if you're not really into like scary stuff, but it's amazing. And there's some cannibal stuff in this movie as well. So just putting that out there so you're prepared, you know? Alright, so the next TV show we have is called The Stranger. Now, this show is on Quibi app as well. And this is about a rideshare driver is thrown into her worst nightmare when a mysterious passenger enters her car. Her terrifying, heart-stopping ride with the stranger unfolds over 12 hours as she navigates LA in a chilling game of cat and mouse. Now, I thought this was really interesting. I really like the idea of it, you know what I mean? Like, the rideshare driver who picks up this passenger, who the passenger turns out to be a psycho, a crazy person who's just like, you know, trying to kill the driver. And they're basically, it really is like a game of cat and mouse, because he really is chasing her and they're just going back and forth, and she's trying not to die while he is just trying to kill her because he's just a crazy person. And when you find out why he's doing it, when you find out like why his mind is working that way, you just think, wow, there actually is real people out there who think this way, and it's very screwed up, it is very wrong, very disgusting, and it kind of freaks you out a little bit. Like, I know some people are like, oh, you know, the whole, like, we all know about those stories about like, don't put everything on social media because, you know, anything can happen and anybody is watching, and you don't know who these people are watching, and you don't know like what their minds are like, what they're thinking. And this is another show that actually shows you don't put everything on social media, because there are some crazy people out there who are watching, and it's very disturbing, okay? But it ends in a great way, so I'm just gonna put that out there. But yeah, it's very disturbing. At some points it's very sad, but it's a really good show, and I definitely recommend it to you guys. Now, the next show I recommend to you guys is called Light as a Feather. Now, this is a show on Hulu, and this is a really good show. I've been watching it for a few years now. They have 2 seasons. I don't believe a season came out this year yet, but the last season I believe came out last year, and it is very good. It is a thriller, and it's basically about 4 best friends who invite a shy girl out on Halloween, but they quickly regret their decision when she suggests they play a game of light as a feather, stiff as a board. Now, the seemingly innocent game goes awry when the 5 girls who played start dying off in the exact way that was predicted. The survivors are then forced to figure out why they're being targeted and whether the evil force hunting them down is one of their own. The evil force that's hunting them, it looks really creepy. It's kind of like stuck. Like, it's stuck in her back, like right here. Now, the thing that's like the evil force is like implanted in people's like bodies. And it basically is like this huge, disgusting, like, it looks kind of like a cocoon type of thing, and it's very gross. It like opens up and closes. But it makes them do crazy things because they want to get rid of this stuff. So they're literally just playing the game to get more people to play the game so it could get off of them and go on to somebody else. And then other people just start dying in the ways that is shown in the game. and they just keep playing this game or trying to get new people to play the game so they don't die, and that's just very wrong. Like, nobody told you to play this game. Don't make innocent other people be a part of your crazy stuff. Like, you chose to be part of this game. That is your fault. Don't put other people into this game when now you realize that, like, it's trying to kill you. But it's a really good show, and I definitely recommend it to you guys. It's one of my favorite Hulu shows. Now, the next movie I want to recommend to you guys is called Bloodfest. Now, this is on the Showtime app. I'm pretty sure you can find it other places as well, but it is really good. I just watched it last night, and I really enjoyed this movie. Like, it was interesting, it was a good storyline, something that could probably happen in real life. I was just like, this is good, okay? So basically, Bloodfest is about a festival of horror, like horror films and horror fans and that whole genre, and they all flock to this festival. And this festival, they're literally locked inside the gates, and as everything's happening, you know, everybody's enjoying their time, thinking out there like this at a horror festival with all this horror genre stuff, and they love it, and they're into that type of stuff, and they're having the best time. And then, you know, once everything starts, you know, they all go to the main stage, everything starts, and they realize very quickly that this is not a regular festival. Like, what they think is just, you know, like special effects and like all a part of the festival is not, and people are actually dying. Like, these people are jumping off the stage and actually killing people and cutting them in half and all this stuff. Like, real is like actual real thing. They, like, the group of friends, they come together and they use all their horror knowledge to figure out how to get out of this festival and how to survive. And it's basically a guy who is making a film about like a real horror film, and he's actually using real people for it at this festival, and he trapped them in here so he can make the film, and all of them, and they're just killing people. It's kind of funny as well, but it's a really good film, and I definitely recommend it for you guys to watch. Now, the next movie I want to recommend to you guys is Assassination Nation, and this is on Hulu, and it's a really good film. Also something that could happen in real life as well. Like, I like these storylines in these movies and TV shows. Like, it's really good. So basically, it's just, you know, based on teenagers nowadays and everybody who uses their phones and just, you know, Snapchatting and taking pictures and showing their whole lives and all of this stuff, like, you know what I mean. And basically, somebody gets exposed. Like, people just start getting exposed left and right, and all their information, all their bad things, all their, you know, naughty pictures, everything they have starts being exposed and put online for everybody to see, and people just start freaking out, okay? They're like, our whole lives are being exposed, they don't know who's doing it, so everybody just starts ganging up on everybody. Like, as soon as they think somebody did it, it's just attack mode. Like, we don't need to know whether you actually did it, like whether you're the actual person who did it. Let's just attack you because we think you did it, which is so wrong. Like, oh my gosh. But they think this girl did it, so basically a mob starts hunting this girl down and hunting her friends down because she's with her friends, which, come on now, they're hunting you and you go to your friends so your friends could die too? Like, come on. What is wrong with people? But basically, they start hunting her down and killing people and killing her, and other people are killing other people because they think these people are exposing them, and it's just a huge mess, okay? Everything is just a crazy mess. Everybody doesn't know what's happening, but they're all going crazy and freaking out, and they're just killing anybody who they think is the person exposing all their, like, secrets and information. And this is all happening in one little town, and it's so funny because, like, the FBI, the government, nobody cares about what's happening in this little town, even though everybody is dying left and right. But Assassination Nation, definitely go watch it. It is really good. I definitely recommend it to you guys. It's on Hulu. Check it out. Now, the next movie I want to recommend to you guys came out this year, just really recently actually. It's called The Babysitter Killer Queen. Now, this is a sequel to the first movie, which is called The Babysitter. It is on Netflix. I actually prefer The Babysitter Killer Queen more than the first movie, maybe just because of humor in it, but I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was really funny, not gonna lie. I thought The Babysitter Killer Queen was a really funny movie. I really enjoyed it, so I definitely recommend you guys to watch it too if you're into that kind of stuff, like funny horror movies. I wouldn't really call it scary, but it's really good. So basically, it is about 2 years after defeating a satanic cult led by his babysitter Bee, Cole once again has to outsmart the forces of evil when old enemies unexpectedly return. So basically, this movie's about some, like, satanic cult that tries to, like, come and kill this kid, and it's the kid's babysitter who is in charge of this cult and who's trying to kill this kid. and they all basically come back from the dead to kill him again. And it's like, are you joking me? I was like, I feel so bad for this kid. Imagine like surviving this stuff and then they come back again to try to kill you. Like, oh my gosh, it's like, can't you catch a break? But it is so good and it is so funny. They all come back to kill the kid and he basically has to fight them off. But now he has the help of this girl and they have a little romance going on, but they become like really good partners and start, you know, killing off the evil ghosts, dead people, that demons, whatever now, who came back to try to kill them. And they're basically there to try to kill him because they want to like become alive again, and that's the only way they become alive again and become famous, if they kill the kid. Now the next movie I want to recommend to you guys is called Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Now if you remember, there are the books called Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and they're really old books. I remember reading them when I was in elementary school, okay? I remember reading these books and they were actually like one of my favorite books. I really enjoyed it. Every story was like a new story and it was really good. And then they made a movie about it, and I just found out they made a movie about it, and this movie came out last year and it is so good, okay? Basically it's really good because it gives you that nostalgic feel, you know what I mean? Like if you read these books when you were younger, it just feels nice like watching something like you were so into when you were a kid being on the big screen right now. So it was like really good. I was really happy to watch it. I was really happy they made the movie. I wouldn't say that it was super scary, but it was really good just to see these stories come alive. Now Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is about the shadow of the Bellows family has loomed large in the small town of Mill Valley for generations. It's in a mansion that young Sarah Bellows turns her tortured life and horrible secrets into a series of scary stories. These terrifying tales soon have a way of becoming all too real for a group of unsuspecting teens who stumble upon Sarah's spooky home. It is a really good film. I really recommend it for you guys to watch. Now the next movie I recommend to you guys is called Escape Room. Now this movie is on Hulu and it is really good. I really enjoyed this movie, okay? It came out last year and they're making a second movie that's going to come out next year. So I'm really excited for that. I really want to go watch it, and I definitely recommend that you guys watch the first movie because it's really interesting. Now it's more like a thriller than it is a horror movie. But basically it's about 6 adventurous strangers travel to a mysterious building to experience the escape room, a game where players compete to solve a series of puzzles to win $10,000. What starts out as a seemingly innocent fun soon turns into a living nightmare as the 4 men and 2 women discover each room is an elaborate trap that's part of a sadistic game of life or death. Now this is a really good film. I definitely recommend for you guys to watch it. Sorry, I just need to take a drink real quick. I've been talking so much. But oh my gosh, have you guys seen my mug? This is so cute. Like literally, look at this mug right here. I got it at Spirit Halloween and it's literally like the cutest thing ever. Now, it's the Nightmare Before Christmas and it has like Jack right there and it says, "Aren't you scared yet?" And every day is Halloween, and it has the little doggy. He has a pumpkin on his nose and it's so cute and it spins. I'm like, when I saw it in the store, I was just like, I have to get this. This is so cute. I love this. So this is my Nightmare Before Christmas mug. So basically, I definitely recommend for you guys to watch The Escape Room. It is a great movie. It is on Hulu right now. Go check it out. It's so good. Now the next movie I want to recommend to you guys is called The Invisible Man. Now this came out this year, and the main character is the girl that plays in The Handmaid's Tale. And this movie is so good. It's a thriller, and it is about a crazy mad scientist who basically finds a way to make himself invisible and basically goes and stalks his ex-wife because of course, you know, if I can't have you, nobody can, whatever. So he's one of those type of people, and so basically like stalks her and like terrorizes her and literally drives her crazy insane. And she tries to go to authorities for help, and of course they don't believe her. Nobody wants to help her, so she has to take it upon herself to basically go kill this man and go hurt him because he just won't stop. So the description says, after staging his own suicide, a crazed scientist uses his power to become invisible to stalk and terrorize his ex-girlfriend. When the police refuse to believe her story, she decides to take matters into her own hands and fight back. And this is a really good movie. I really enjoy it. It reminds me of that movie with Kevin Bacon. It's a really old movie. I remember watching it when I was younger, but he basically is also a scientist, finds a way to make himself invisible, and has like this fake, you know, silicone skin, but he just literally terrorizes the whole town, terrorizes the whole street, terrorizes the people who work with him, kills everybody. It is a good movie, but I remember it used to scare me when I was younger. This Invisible Man is a really good movie. It is kind of like The Hollow Man, and it definitely reminds me of that. I definitely give it a good recommendation for you guys because it is really good. Definitely go check it out. Now the next movie I have for you guys is called The Lodge. Now The Lodge came out this year, really recently, and it is about during a family retreat to a remote winter cabin over the holidays, the father is forced to abruptly depart for work, leaving his 2 children in the care of his new girlfriend, Grace. Isolated and alone, a blizzard traps them inside the lodge as terrifying events summon specters from Grace's dark past. Now this movie is currently on Hulu, and it is really a good movie. It is very scary, okay? It is really creepy, and if you really like scary movies and horror movies, then this is for you, okay? This movie creeped me out. These kids, like, basically it's about these kids who, you know, the dad is divorced, he gets a new girlfriend, the kids hate the new girlfriend, and they go on, you know, vacation to this winter cabin. The dad has to leave for work, and the kids are basically stuck with the new girlfriend. And things just go, they take a dark turn after that, okay? Crazy stuff just starts happening. It is really scary. It's a really good movie, so if you guys are into that, then definitely check out The Lodge. It's on Hulu. I definitely recommend it to you guys. Now the next movie I want to recommend to you guys is called Ma. Now this is also on Hulu, and it is a really good movie. It's very different story like you would normally expect. It has Octavia Spencer in it, and she does a great job in it. Very phenomenal. And it's basically about a lonely middle-aged woman befriends some teenagers and decides to let them have a party in her basement. But there are some house rules. One of the kids has to stay sober, don't curse, never go upstairs. And when she says never, she means never go upstairs. Which of course, kids are stupid. I don't know why they couldn't just listen to her, but very stupid kids, they decide to break the rules, you know? So one of the things that they must refer to her as Ma. But as Ma's hospitality starts to curdle into obsession, what began as a teenage dream turns into a terrorizing nightmare. And Ma's place goes from the best place in town to the worst place on earth. Now, this is a really good movie. I definitely recommend it to you guys because Ma turns out to be a really crazy psycho and who literally terrorizes these kids, kills a bunch of these kids, and it is just, it's really creepy, but it's a really good movie, so I definitely recommend it for you guys to watch for this Halloween. Now the next movie I want to recommend to you guys is called The Rental. Now it just came out this year. It is a horror movie and it's directed by Dave Franco, which really cool by the way. Like when I found out it was directed by him, I was like, I gotta watch this. And it's really good. It's basically about 2 couples on an oceanside getaway grow suspicious that the host of their seemingly perfect rental house may be spying on them. Before long, what should have been a celebratory weekend trip turns into something far more sinister. Now, it has Lip from Shameless in it, so I'm telling you, it's a really good movie. It is very creepy, okay? It's a very scary movie. I definitely recommend for you guys to watch it because a lot of crazy things starts happening while they're in this rental, and I definitely go check it out, guys, because I don't want to spoil too much, so check it out because it is so good. And it is currently on Amazon Prime, so go check it out if you guys have that because it is really good. I definitely recommend for you guys to watch it. Now the next show I want to recommend to you guys is called The Expecting, and this is on Quibi, and this is really creepy. It's kind of like Rosemary's Baby. So basically it's a sci-fi thriller, and it's basically about this woman who becomes mysteriously pregnant, and there's a bunch of dark secrets that are surrounding this pregnancy, and basically it's kind of like fear brought to life, okay? It's very scary. I'm not one for these type of movies, I'm really not, because I just think they're really scary and I just don't like it. But it has Anna Sophia Robb playing in this show, and I really love her. She's the girl that plays Carrie Bradshaw in the Carrie Diaries. So I really wanted to watch this film, but it is very scary. If you like this type of really scary stuff, then go watch it because I just did not want to watch it, okay? It's just creepy. It creeps me out. Now the last movie I want to recommend to you guys is called Antebellum. Now this is about a successful author, Veronica Henley, finds herself trapped in a horrifying reality that forces her to confront the past, present, and future before it's too late. Now this has Janelle Monáe in it, and she does a phenomenal job in this movie. This movie is basically about like this author who throws a Halloween party, and at this party she somehow like becomes like back into slavery, and she deals with all that crazy stuff, and she's living in a slavery life, and it's from the producers of Get Out and Us, so it's really good. I definitely recommend for you guys to watch it. Go check it out. Now the last movie I want to recommend to you guys is called The Death of Me, and this currently came out this year, and it's a really good movie. It's basically about a vacationing couple must unravel the mystery behind a strange video that shows one of them killing the other. So that is it for my 2020 scary movies / TV shows to watch for this Halloween. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did enjoy it, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment down below what your favorite scary movie is because I would love to check them out. I'll see you guys in a couple days with another video. Bye!